Welcome everybody to the sportiest stream. Nice to see you all here tonight. We're gonna start off our action here for the week here today. Yesterday was a bit of an off day. We didn't have anything yesterday, but today, oh boy, we got a banger of a matchup between two teams that we've seen here before. We've seen a lot of different teams here. My goodness, it's going to be a fun one to say the least. Skyward Series playoff action here tonight, as it's Invicta Esports Ignition Academy. Again, the first playoff matchup for Skyward Series on the stream. Won't be the last this week. Actually, we've got a couple other matches cooking up as well that are bound to be just as exciting. And again, if you guys don't know, playoff matches means it is best of 7 action, meaning 3 games is not gonna be enough for you. You gotta win 4. And these teams, well, again, they have their work cut out for them. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. These teams are going to make their lives very difficult, but very possible as well to get through everything here. To push past the adversity. If they've come this far to make it to the top 12, well, if they want to get into the top 8, they've got to get through a lot of other teams. And the way they do that is through a double elimination bracket. Quite the ruthless playstyle. I think the wildcard itself, when it comes to Skyward Series, is so ruthless. You do not get a lot of chances. In the regular season, you could be fine. In the final bracket, you could also be pretty confident. In this bracket, yeah, you're not really at that level yet where people are going to recognize just how strong you are. Instead, you have to prove yourself over again. And for a lot of teams, that's really difficult, especially if you've come so close to that top 4. As Invicta have, they come in as the 5th seed into. They come in as the 5th seed into this bracket. A long way to go. And let's take a look at that bracket actually as well. Let's go. Here you go. Here's the bracket. Again, Invicta come in as the 5th seed, just missing on the top 4 that would have auto-qualified them into the final bracket. Instead, these teams have to now fight through this double elimination bracket. And for Ignition, they come in just barely sneaking in as the 12th seed, as the final seed to come in. And so they're going to have a lot of work to do. They're going to have to upset a couple different teams if they want to make it in. Where are they? One person. Here they are. There you go. There's the info for both the teams up and ready. Again, now they play against each other. Loser of this goes down to the lower bracket to play Unknown Illusions. A team that actually got upset here by Striker Exile. And ironically, Striker Exile has Draco on their team. And Draco is actually a player who's currently on Ignition Academy. In a lot of the other leagues, he just joined that org again, which is an interesting storyline to talk about. So if we see Ignition Academy winning this, we might actually get to see a fun Draco versus his team matchup here, which in very weird season of Skyward Series, because Draco originally didn't sign up with Ignition Academy. He had actually left that team, and now he's back on the Ignition Academy, but not for Vesta Skyward Series. He joined back after the roster lock, so he'll be with Striker Exile, which is that's gonna be an interesting team. I'm super excited for this. It should be a fun matchup. Hopefully, we'll get to see our fair share of twists and turns. And just make sure we get both these teams into the lobby. Make sure we get both these teams actually ready for the action that's about to come to them. Trust me, I'm excited. Everybody should be excited. It's playoff action here for Skyward Series. We got a couple matches coming up this week. And it's only going to get more and more hype. Just making sure everybody's ready. Again, we'll go back to this one. Again, the prediction poll is up, by the way, so if you want to vote for who you think will win, now is your time to do it. Now is your time to make the choice. An easy one, but it's very doable. I'm just typing up, letting these teams know. I'm trying to get everybody. There's Ziggy. Hello, Ziggy. I know you're going to be here. Whenever Ignition plays, of course, Ziggy's here. Hello, No Simp. See you there as well. We got a good amount of time before the series actually does start here. But hey, guess what? This will be fun. This will be the first playoff match we'll have. Again, if you want to hear about some of the future playoff matches we have going, we got one tomorrow. And we have one on Thursday. And we have one on Saturday. We got some playoff matches coming out on the stream. I'm hoping that in the future weeks we can get a couple more matches, because I am really happy about this. I'm excited as a follow coming in from Sneaky Combo. Thank you, Sneaky, for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, running around, we're basically approaching our match start time here. Reminder, all matches from now on are best of 7. Let's let the game load. There it is. I'm joining in yet, but we're gonna be in here soon enough. Don't worry. Invicta, we actually have seen. Yeah, again, a lot of people know we've seen a good amount of Ignition this season. We saw them with their matchup against FX. That was incredible. We've seen a good amount of Ignition. FX was probably the match I recognized the most, because that was a really insane matchup. It was close. It went to Game 5. FX actually are now a top 4 team. We also saw them play against FaZe earlier in the season, where they got swept. But we actually didn't get to see them play against Invicta in Week 7. And what's interesting about this statistic is that a lot of you might be writing Ignition off, coming as the last seed. They swept Invicta earlier this season. Invicta only had 2 losses in the season as a whole. Ignition was one of them, the other one being IUS, who aren't even in the bracket. Some very strange losses. Invicta seems like they might be prone to making costly errors and having off days. Well, you can't have any off days in the playoffs. Either give your A game or you are sent home. And for this one, while they are in the upper bracket and losing here will not mean their chances are over. That means that they'll have to win the next 2 series in a row. And if I'm a team in the upper bracket, especially one like Invicta, where I'm coming in with such a high seed, going into the lower bracket is just an absolute not for me. You can't have that happen for Invicta. They are by far they are considered by far the better team out of most of the teams in this bracket. They should not have an issue getting into that top 8. But with that said, again, it's the wild card. Things change in the playoffs. I'm happy that you're happy. I'm happy that you're stoked, Ziggy. I am too. Again, another reminder for you, Ignition Academy have not won in about 3 months. On this stream, I say. They have not won on the stream in 3 months. It's been a very long time since they've won here. Still searching for that win. Again, I'm so happy that they still book me, because I'm starting to become a bad luck curse for them whenever they book me. I don't know why, but I'm always like a bad luck charm for them. Which is weird, because back in Blackline Season 11 when they won, I was considered their good luck charm. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe the luck went to somebody else. I don't know. Just waiting on Invicta here. Be here any moment. I'm sure they're just getting the warm-ups finished. And Invicta's 8-2. Just barely missing out on that top 4. Again, they had the same record as FX. They only didn't make it in by a single game differential. Their game differential was plus 15, and FX's was plus 16. Quite incredible, if you tell me. Of course, Ignition Academy, and they're 5-5 with the game differential of plus 2. Again, coming into the playoffs, those records, while they are displayed, they do not matter. All that matters is getting wins at this point in the season. I don't care. It doesn't matter how bad your season was. It doesn't matter how tumultuous it was. For Ignition Academy, it's been very tumultuous. They've had a lot of difficulties. That's hi, Drazix. I see you. Saying hello. Let me go say hi back. As in comes Goobers, Finley, Stella Tempesta, Sleds. Here we go. Playoff action for the Skyward series. It's Ignition Academy taking to the field. Invicta Esports on the other side. All the issues, all the wrong turns and mistakes made in the regular season Well, that's all led up to a spot here in the playoff brackets. And now, only one thing matters. Getting wins and getting them fiercely. Invicta on the blue. They've had an incredible season so far. Ignition Academy would like to put that regular season behind them as they start trying to make their road upfield. But it's Invicta who will score first. Goobers, the captain, trying to lead the charge as Finley to Stella finds the infield play to Goobers. And a three-man passing play. And Invicta Esports start on top. We keep going with the action. It's only game 1 of this incredibly long best-of-7 series. Who's got the fight? Who's going to put in the effort? Who's got what it takes to take the win? Goobers, stopped by Krevlo. Ignition, known for their defense, but their defense right now, not holding up. Invicta's just scored again. As that infield pass to Goobers, I thought that was going to be their second goal, but the breakout play, Ignition, went for some boost, went aggressive to get that ball out, and it didn't work for them. Already Invicta taking charge in this game, leaving nothing behind. Only seen this Invicta team once, back when they played Dream Station Gold. They won that matchup in Game 5. Remember that one? That was a midnight matchup as well. That was a really fun series to watch. Ignition have just taken this one back in front for Drazix. Can't get the shot on target. Now Cody. Infield, Krevlo jumping. Krevlo trying to get for the defense. Ignition Academy score back. It's Krevlo, the one sub of this Ignition team. Now he'll be the one to put him on the board here on Manfield Knights. As the pass from Cody wasn't very confident. It didn't look amazing, but the shot itself was a bouncer. It was tough to read. You gotta appreciate at least the effort there of Ignition. Again, they're going to be on this downhill battle throughout the entirety of the series against Invicta. And it's not like it's going to get much easier for them in the playoffs. They're going to be the underdogs in almost any matchup they play against. Well, they have swept this team in the regular season. The records still don't lie. Who's really coming out on top in these matchups? And well, Ignition again 3-0'd this team. In the playoffs, it's a lot different. It's a lot more pressure. Who knows what contributed to those results? It's just been a bad day for Invicta. Again, they cannot have any more of those in this season, or else they risk themselves being put in jeopardy or even out of the playoff action. As Krevlo wants to dip this one on. What a shot from Krevlo! Oh, he's just done it again. This game's all tied up. Again, another pass. This one a little more confident. Krevlo, he's up so high. No one in Invicta really thought he had that one there. But he gave him something to think about. Now, Krevlo has just scored another one. High game. Ignition finding their footing here. Invicta, though, might find it right back. Infield Finley, that's a little high. Ignition, though, struggling to get this ball out. Now Cody, 2 touches. Down the field, Goobers almost bumped off that back wall in failing to get to it, but he does get a touch. It's not that one. No, that's a horrible play from Drazix. And Finley is waiting right for it. Drazix here panicked to get that one out, but he really should have thought a little more carefully about where that ball is going. As that touch from him just sends it straight back in. Ignition needs to find another goal. It's Cody, that was a chance, but squandered as his touch just goes away from the net. Now Drazix, infield, Cody, jumping for it. Finley gets the block. Ignition must stay close to the play. Stella, challenged by Krevlo. Infield, Goobers gets the clear. Drazix up. He's maybe trying to look for Cody, but Cody didn't jump on this one. And Invicta with some room here in that backfield. Stella. Krevlo. Like his chances on that one. Maybe like a little more after that whiff. Drazix. Ooh, cuts off that play from Krevlo. Krevlo now jumping with Cody. Drazix down the field, just trying to get the ball away from his half. It's Ignition Academy's turn on offense. Cody almost tried to hit that one on the bar. Krevlo jumping in from the back. Goobers, who has the dribble. Goobers. Krevlo chasing him down. Goobers still on it. Gets the dunk on Drazix. Ignition using a lot of boost to keep up with the Invicta play, but Invicta, they're making some uncharacteristic whiffs here. Skrevlo to the back wall. Goobers gets that touch. Crucial play to deny that play from going in. Finley. Oh, second touch. Gets it on Drazik's Cody. Demoed by Goobers, but he does get a touch on it. Now Krevlo with the dribble play. Ignition. Only one goal down here, but every goal from them has taken a lot of effort just to get there. It's barring even the Invicta defense, which itself has held up relatively well, although sure they've had their own issues on the defense. A lot of those whiffs from Invicta, though, have become somewhat problematic for them. Another one there, Drazix. Let's put that one, maybe get a dunk on Finley. Finley gets over him. Stella Tempestas. Krevlo isn't willing to challenge that, and that's it in front. Drazix will have to get this one away. Now, second touch from Drazix. Over Goobers, Drazix in field. Finley cuts the play. Krevlo. Gotta keep the ball in that blue half. Do enough ignition. We'll have to think about keeping the ball up. Cody. Maybe. Yes! Free. Ignition. Find a way to come back over and over again. It's tied up for the third time this game. It had a 0-0 scoreline, then it went to 2-2, now 3-3. Ignition. I've always fought, but they've never been able to take a lead yet this game. Maybe Invicta will deny that. Goobers in front. Stella taken away. Ignition will let that ball drop. And we'll have Game 1 overtime to start off Skyward Series playoff action on the stream. Drazix trying to win it here quickly. Finley saves it off the kickoff. Now Krevlo. Bumped. Cody. Keeps it up, looking for Drazix. Drazix downfield. Goobers saves. Cody up high. In comes Krevlo. He's missed the target. Ignition. That was the chance. That was the play that could have won it. Back the other way. Finley off the back wall. Fake under Cody. Krevlo. Last. Finley. Goobers. Demoed. And that play is denied. Krevlo gets the play past Stella Tempestas. Now it's Ignition doing the counterattack. Goobers gets the boost. Maybe he can dribble this one away, but Cody stops him right there. Finley. Krevlo back in. Krevlo's got the second touch, maybe even a third one. Or Goobers cuts it away. Now Drazix doesn't like this. Gonna give up a shot to Stella Tempestas. Maybe it was a pass to Goobers, whatever it was. It was botched by Invicta. Cody, what a dunk. Cody trying to take it. It's Cody to win it on overtime. Game 1 will go to Ignition Academy. As Cody gets the dunk on Finley, shoots it past Stella and Tempestas. Ignition Academy, the underdogs, the heavy underdogs, will start the series off, putting Invicta on the wrong foot, putting them on the back foot. Now it's up to Invicta to catch up in the series. It was always a fight from behind here for Ignition Academy. But they came back every single time. Now they win it in overtime. And if Krevlo keeps playing like he is, if he keeps getting involved, offense, defense, no matter where it is, he seems to get involved everywhere. If he keeps doing that, we're going to see an Ignition matchup that's going to be so incredibly close. As now, let's move on to Game 2. Ignition Academy start off the series well. They seem to know what it is to beat Invicta. Cody maybe they're off the kickoff. That might be one. Almost got the dunk on Finley. Drazix. It's popped up. Goobers. Huge whiff, and that's going to be an easy one for Krevlo to shoot in. Invicta making some mistakes here on defense. A couple whiffs. And that's what Ignition's really primarily hoping for to get these goals. It makes it easier for them, that's for sure. And even then, Ignition's offense good enough to get goals in this game, in the series, but with mistakes like that, that's what they can rely on here for Invicta. Invicta, maybe a little bit nervous. Ignition, trying to find the breakthrough. As it's in front, Finley gets the clear. A good bounce, Krevlo gets to it. Stella Tempestas off the back wall. Drazik clears it away. Cody. Pinch, but Finley clears it back. In front, Stella Tempestas. Almost had look for Finley. Invicta. Goober is getting demoed. Ignition. Haven't really used a lot of demos. They're not known for their demo play, but that's something that they have as an option if they ever find that they're in too much pressure. Like there, but that one, they can get a demo. Goober's shot is just too strong. There's that one. Near post. Drazik's a little far out of his net there. If he was in his net, it would have been a better chance for him to save it, but still, that was a powerful play from Goobers. And Ignition back. Goobers stops it. Revlo jumping, but doesn't hit this one. Stella Tempestas to make it 2. Oh, he's missed the open net. Invicta. Stella Tempestas did all the work they needed to do to get that one. And it just needs to be just an easy shot for them, but they played a little too fast on it. Now Goobers sets up the play. Finley jumping. Drazix will beat him out to it. Revlo over Goobers. Stella in the backfield. Invicta. Now shoot from afar. Finley. Light play. Cody gets to it, but Drazix has no boost. Cody's now run out. Ignition. But in the struggle here in their own back end, they're just keeping the play alive, keeping themselves able to meet every challenge Invicta has. It's Drazix. Stopped. Cody. Really needs to get the ball away here. Invicta are trying to apply the squeeze. Drazix. Strong touch. Maybe he can get this challenge as well, but it's cleared right back in by Goobers. Krevlo. Hits it. Maybe infield play. Cody. Nowhere to be found. He's sitting all the way back. Set up a play for Invicta, but again, cut off by Drazix. Now Cody, another dunk from Cody here. Drazix. Ignition. Just waiting for the opportune moment. Oh, but it will never come. Stella Tempestas will take the lead. Up the sidewall. Stella up so fast that when Krevlo can't catch up. And right now, Ignition's big issue is that they can't always rely on Invicta to make mistakes. They have to be able to create plays themselves. And Ignition Academy have long had a history, even back when Draco was on their team, have long had a history of being a team that you could very easily suffocate and keep on their own back end. They're definitely a team that has had that issue. Ironically, back when there was 2 Ignition teams, back when I first did commentary for this org, both the teams had the same issue. Where they could get suffocated. These teams, this team likes to play defensively. Oh, what a flick though from Drazix. That's just being on everybody. I wasn't even paying attention to the play. I thought that was going to be stopped. But my goodness, no one was there for Invicta. Stella wanted to challenge Drazix. Drazix gave him no option. And Ignition, again, they always find a way to come back, even though it feels like they're playing from behind. They have what it takes, I guess, to keep things close. At least against Invicta, that will be a huge statement for them. Estella launches this one away. Cody. Well, that touch is right to Goobers. Revlo. Off his back wall. Gets over a couple players. This one's awkwardly redirected in front of the net. Revlo could score this one, but Finley will cut it out. Now back the other way. Stella. What a shot, actually. Drazix has to get to that one. Has to avoid the boost going so. Now that touch from Drazix. Oh, he hit it with his purse. In front for Stella. Cody saves it. Drazix's touch was so weak. Again, Ignition surviving just barely. Albeit again, just barely. This is a top-notch goal line defense from Ignition. They're getting tested really everywhere just to keep this game tied. Mind you. And will this Ignition team start to get a bit desperate? As time starts to tick down, I don't think they want to go to overtime again in this series. Knowing how much offense Invicta can create. Now Invicta. Maybe a follow-up from Goobers, that's wide, and now everybody's got to be a little careful here from Invicta. You can't overcommit. Just look for the back pass. Finley, sidewall. Krevlo will stop it there. It's Finley trying to get a piece of Drazix here. Drazix's got to be careful. Goobers is waiting right in front of that net. Krevlo, oh, gets a touch on that. Ignition, man, they're almost become their own worst enemies here. Again, no matter how good the defense is, can their defense be good enough? That's a really tough question. They've been playing in his own back half for how long? I can't even tell. It's been at least a minute and a half now of them just being stuck on their own end of the field. They get a clear. There we go. Creflo gets the ball away. And now Ignition. Final 10 seconds, maybe, to get a second game in the series. But if we know anything about Invicta, they can do it. Off the back. Second touch. Finley couldn't put it on. That would have won it. Goobers will hit the ground. Another overtime in this series. Oh my goodness. Ignition won the last one off of an incredible dunk play from Cody. We're going to need that kind of magic here in Game 2. Invicta hunting. Creflo gets the save on Finley. What a play from Creflo off his own back wall. Ignition survive the onslaught. But can they use it to benefit themselves? Drazix. Tempesta stops it. Creflo on target. Finley gets to this one. Now he's got to work without a lot of boost. Creflo gonna turn right back into it. Cody making his presence known to Creflo. Drazix. Ooh, doesn't jump in on that. Invicta gets some offense from here. Creflo gonna get the dribble, the flick, gonna get the dunk as well. Tempesta stops all the options. There's now Ignition. Just cannot get overconfident here. Cannot get over aggressive. Their chances will come as long as they put in the right amount of offense, the right amount of play. It's Finley. Gonna beat out Drazix, but only goes back to Creflo, who trying to create up some offense. Cody. I think he sees Creflo out of here, but Cody and Creflo both passing out Drazix. Hits it backward. He's got to catch up to Goobers. Goobers getting bumped. He won't be able to get a play on that. As Drazix decided to become a bit physical there, running on a boost on that play. The series been very close so far. Great demo shot from Creflo, and that will win Game 2. It's being close. It will end that way, but a great demo from Drazix opens up the field for Creflo. And Creflo has become the superstar of the series for Ignition. They're up 2-0 against an Invicta team that many people thought, even myself, I thought they were going to have a pretty easy time here in this bracket. It is proving to be a lot more difficult. I tell you, playoffs brings out the best in teams and the worst in others. And so far, it's definitely bringing out the best in Ignition. Invicta, on their other hand, have definitely had some issues getting through that defense, trying to break through. As we're going to make sure we get ready for Game 3. Let's get into the action again. Ignition Academy. Filling up their series extremely well. Ignition have been playing all defense so far this series, really. But they always find a way to counterattack, and it always seems to be Creflo. 5 seconds in already. Creflo scoring. He's scored every single game so far. If this is how Creflo is playing, it's going to be difficult to stop him, because he is generally considered I would consider him on this roster the quietest player on their team. He's definitely been the biggest question mark for them this season. We know, back with Draco, this team had no issues. Wait, that's going to go in. That just goes in, I guess. Oh, that's unfortunate from Finley. I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say is, Creflo coming in was kind of the question mark of this team, having to replace Draco. At the early part of the season when I saw him, it felt like Ignition were trying to recreate, Creflo was trying to recreate what Draco did. It just wasn't possible. He's a little too defensive. He has a different playstyle entirely. Again, there's kind of identity issues with his team. There still are, especially with Draco coming back, there's still identity issues with Ignition on what they really want to be as a unit. But in Skyward Series, this roster seems to have figured everything out coming into the playoffs. Creflo started to take a bit of a step back, and yet even so, he's still becoming a lethal striker whenever his team needs it. But maybe not, but not so much the playmaker. You're seeing Cody especially being that playmaker, trying to set up things for Creflo here to score on. Again, it feels like this form of Ignition Academy knows exactly what they're doing. As Krevlo, I must say, I've known this guy for a very long time. I've actually known him longer than anybody else on Ignition Academy, or even the Ignition organization itself. I know him back during the very start very start of my casting career in Indie Gaming League, back when he was on Team Silenced. If anybody remembers what that org is. I remember him back from that org as Invicta, trying to make a tie, trying to get one back. Stays in front, Cody will get the clear. Razix doesn't get to it, it's one. Just wide, Krevlo on defense. Stella Tempestas, that's high. Krevlo will take it away, and again, as I was talking about Krevlo, known him ever since his time on Team Silenced. This has been the best I've actually ever seen him play. Ever. As that will go in for Cody, a third goal for Ignition. And again, it's not just Krevlo who's playing well. Again, reminder, he's still got teammates behind him. I talked about Cody kind of being the setup player. Drazix always seems to be the one to take a step back on these teams, to be the most defensive. But without Drazix, this team crumbles. He's the one to... Again, there's a reason that this is a 3-man roster. As Drazix almost got that one. Again, he likes to sit back. A lot of times he'll be the last one back for this team to make sure that things are just running smoothly. He'll be kind of the glue of this team. Keep them all together. Passing plays, 50-50s, whatever the team needs on the for the dirty work. Razix is generally the one to do it. Again, everybody on this team is no real stranger to putting in tough effort, but Razix himself seems to be the one that just never gets the compliments. Well, I guess I'll compliment him for that 50-50 though. There comes a compliment. As a 4th goal for Ignition Academy. This game, unlike the other ones, is not very close. Ignition, well, about halfway through the game, they're up by 4. And they might actually sweep Invicta like they did in the regular season. With how they're playing. Invicta just is not... It's just a few too many errors from them. Ignition. Krevlo has become an absolute menace. This is an Ignition team who are willing to play their hearts out for the playoffs. Again, this is probably the best I've ever seen Krevlo ever play on any team. His shooting is what has won this team. What has won this team these games. Without having good shooting like that, this team would probably be down 2-0 right now in the series. As now Finley misses that. Invicta getting so close, but the crossbars denied them a couple times this game. I'm just reading the chat, and I immediately see... I see their optical fade with the... Thank you for saying that I have a cute voice. That's very nice of you. If it helps you, I'm 17, by the way, so... That's probably why my voice sounds like this. I'm not that old of a person. Although I do feel old. I always say that, I always feel old, but... There are like casters in this league that are like double my age. So there you go. That's probably why my voice sounds like that. I'm young. No, it's alright, man. It's okay. You can say that. So let's get back in. You guys are distracting me. You guys are doing very well at that. If there's anything that I've gotten worse at as time gone by, it's been distractions. You guys always find a way to distract me. No, you don't have to, optical fade. It's a compliment. Thank you. Stella, still looking for the first goal here for Invicta in this game. You're fine, optical fade. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. I feel like I have to say that multiple times here. You're fine, man. Don't worry. I know what you mean. Ignition. Is this going to be a 5th goal? Cody. Wide. Okay, I'm going to focus back on the gameplay, guys. My apologies. I'm a caster, not a guy who's trying to make conversation with you all. Although I would love to do that afterwards. How about that? But again, there hasn't really been much to talk about in this last part of the game. Everything's kind of slowed down, but Ignition, again, their defense is just so incredibly strong. It's gotten better and better every single game so far. Their offense has put in the same amount of work. We're seeing more and more come from it. They'll take Game 3 in a stunning 4-0 win. There's only one game left now for Ignition Academy to win. If they win this next game, they continue on to give themselves a chance at qualifying to the final bracket. And it is going to be quite the matchup. As again, 3-0. Invicta now got to fight for their series life. Not their playoff life. Reminder, loser of this will go down into the lower bracket. Nobody's going to be eliminated from this series, but you don't want to be put in the position where you have to win 2 games in a row. Sorry, yeah, 2 series in a row. Again, Game 4, Ignition Academy. Only 1 game away. 5 minutes on the clock. Ignition's slogan is Ignite Together. So far, the team has just done that. They've ignited a offense that has been tough to quell, a defense that is playing like a brick wall. And Krevlo himself is kind of becoming the star of this show. And yet still, this series is far from over. Winner of this plays Striker Exile. That is Bizio's team. But I think what's even more important is that team also includes Draco, who is on Ignition Academy and all the other leagues that they're in. That'll be interesting when they play against their own teammates in the play bracket. If they win this, though, obviously. Gotta win first. That's the difficult part. They cannot think about that. They have to think about what's going to happen in front of them here in this series. They still need to win 4 games in a row. Reverse sweep. Best 7. Definitely possible with how Invicta's playing. Ignition aren't generally defensive, so means that Invicta, if they can start to find ways to break through consistently, they could potentially take the series and absolutely destroy it. Blood out of the water. But Ignition, they're the ones with the offense here. Drazix, saved by Goobers. Skeleton Pestos, still in front of his net. Krevlo, off the back wall. Stella. Krevlo misses. In comes Drazix. The pinch. Cleared away. Cody. He has to race back to get to this one. Goobers. Oh, he doesn't even need to shoot that one. Cody completely missed it. And it's Finley here, from his own goal line, I should say, will get this one. It was not a very strong touch, though. Cody definitely had that one, but maybe he was expecting the shot from Goobers. I think he also just backflipped unexpectedly. And that will get rid of any opportunity of him saving that one. Invicta takes lead in this game. So far, they've done that in 2 of the 3 games before this one. Again, Ignition. They always find a way back. Counterattack quickly. They get their offense up quickly. As long as they can get their shooting chances, those can come too as well. Stella, dunk, and in. Cody had to pre-jump this one from Stella Tempestas. Well, he actually impressively caught that first save. Stella has momentum. Carried them through into that shot. Is now Game 4 Ignition. Trying to face the wrath of Invicta. Invicta had been in a 2-goal lead before in Game 1. Couldn't hold it there. Ignition have easily enough time to come back if they're able to make the most of it, but you know, Invicta, a bit more of a defensive focus this game. Maybe trying to ask Ignition to push up to spread themselves a bit thin. It's Finley. Cody with the challenge. Drazix. Gonna get the shot on, but in comes Krevlo. He's been dangerous all game long. But that one's straight at Goobers. He could have shot to the other corner there and have a much better chance of scoring that one. Krevlo maybe could have shot a little better on that play. As now Drazix. Oh, that was probably an unnecessary dunk there. Krevlo clears it. Drazix jumping, but Finley will beat it. Skeleton Pestos. Have to wait here for Goobers off the corner. Krevlo clears its Ignition. Back on defense, but they need offense here as the game's starting to wind down to its closing moments. 2 minutes left for them. Time is going to go by very quickly for this Ignition team, unless they can start to get something to go for them. Goobers, number 3 for Invicta. After having such a tough time last game, this game may be a breath of fresh air for Invicta Esports. Again, as I said it, reverse sweep, not impossible here with how Invicta's playing. And Ignition Academy, they're going to have to stay on high alert. This series could be a long one if they aren't careful. Krevlo. Infield, no one's able to hit this one. Krevlo stays on it. Up in front. Drazix. Didn't beat Finley. Goobers now. Krevlo jumping for it. Cody. Gonna put it in near side, but it's just a little too close to the wall. Drazix coming in from the back post. And Finley is there. Krevlo. Ooh, doesn't like that one. Cody with the pop-up to Krevlo. Oh, he's backflipping here out of control. Ignition still retain it. Drazix waits on Finley. Maybe a little too long there. Double commit from Ignition. The offense will probably peter out now that everybody's is going back for boost. But Cody shut on. Finley misses it. And it's Cody to score here with exactly a minute on the clock. Ignition Academy, still some hope here to win this series in 4 games straight. The pressure really isn't on them here in this game, but what a statement it would be to sweep this team again. They're going to have to make quick work. They're going to have to score here pretty soon. Cody, off the back wall. They get a bump on Selton Pestos, but they jump in front of it. Finley now. Past Krevlo, Finley. In front, Skeleton Pestos. Demo from Drazix. Open backfield, but that one's wide. And Stella will jump up for this one. Krevlo. Off the back wall. No one waiting for Cody. Could have shot that one instead. He tries to pass it out to Drazix here. Ignition, just one touch too many in that offensive half will hurt them here. Into giving up a better opportunity for a worse one. Krevlo. Still pushing. Drazix. But didn't get through the last defender. Goobers now. Back to Stella. Cody. Couldn't reach it. Krevlo's got to go back. Shot on. No, it's not. It's a little wide here from Invicta. Almost a 4th goal. But still, Ignition will have to see themselves losing at least 1 game in the series. As game 4 will be Invicta's. For once, the Ignition offense wasn't nearly as potent. And their defense could not hold up as well. Invicta Esports will take this game here in the series, as we'll be moving on to Game 5. And this series just continues again. Still, you know, if I'm an Ignition fan, I'm still a little nervous. As again, we're just waiting here for him to join in. Again, Game 5, Invicta. They are trying to make what has never been done before on the stream, a reverse sweep and a best of 7. But even Invicta can't keep their hopes up high. They still have to keep their heads down, get themselves to work. They still need to win 3 more games. Well, it's definitely possible. Generally speaking, teams generally only need about 2 games to learn the other's play style and react accordingly. Ignition, early. What a save from Goobers as he backs up into that one. Cody, the corner. Finley clears it out. Drazix to the side. Cody now. Now take it to the back wall. Cody. Oh, wants that pinch play, but couldn't put it on target. What a shot here. Ignition. Scrambling back to defense just to catch up to it. Krevlo to the midfield now. It's Invicta to go back to defense. Quick transitions are going to favor this Ignition side. They're known for it. It's really going to be how they get their offense against most teams in this league. In the playoffs, it's going to be their main source of goal scoring is going to be from these quick offensive counterattacks. As Krevlo misses that target. Skeleton Pestos flicks it over Cody. And now space for Invicta. They go back, but Ignition, here they come at Drazix. Solo play, looking for Cody, but Cody didn't jump for it. Krevlo's gonna have to waste some time here for his teammates. Invicta very nearly made that from Krevlo cost him. Now he's got a dribble. Krevlo. Finley doesn't flip the right way. Drazix. An open backfield. Good stop from Goobers, though, to shut the play down. Ignition. Get themselves in front of that, but they just aren't getting the strong enough shooting opportunities that they want. Drazix. Over. Still. No one there. Krevlo couldn't jump up because Cody was still upfield. Now Selton Pestas challenged by Drazix. Goobers. Up high. Cody. Ignition. Again, they get up to offense, maybe one or two shooting opportunities, and then immediately they got to go back because this Invicta defense is fast to react, fast to shut things down. And that's a good shot from Finley from the midfield. It's fast to score too. Invicta get the first goal in Game 5, almost halfway through. As Finley, he wanted just to clear that one into the half, but it just went in because no one was there for Ignition. They didn't expect it from Finley just to shoot it. Oh, that perfectly. Is now shot on from Krevlo. That's a great play. Still had some Pestas. Denies it off the post. Invicta now with the coming out the goal line saves. Ignition. Struggling to get offense for long enough where it becomes meaningful for them. Also struggling to get Krevlo to be as meaningful as he was earlier in the series. He's still shooting, but he's not getting the same kind of opportunities that he had earlier. So his shots, even if they're well placed, are still very savable for Invicta. Invicta. Stella. Inched by Drazix. Finley jumping, but doesn't feel the most confident to that one. That's a good touch, though, from him. Ignition's going to have a slow time getting themselves upfield. As now, that's a misplay. Drazix still off target. A lot of players from Ignition jumping, but still no goals. Finley clears it back. Drazix. Pops it high. Ignition. Gonna react to the midfield. Cody gets the dunk. Cody calls this play himself off the ceiling from Cody. Couldn't get it. Selton Pestas. Thankful that he didn't, because that meant that they're in the right position to save that one. Krevlo. In the midfield. Running forward is Cody. That one's not close enough to being threatening. But a good bump from Cody in front. Magic still can't score. Selton Pestas is in the way. Only one goal so far for Invicta. Maybe they'll make it two. They will. As the infield pass is good. Goobers scores it. And an Ignition Academy. But it's worked so well for them, sitting on defense, reacting to play. This time will become their biggest enemy, as no one was playing aggressively enough to cut off the pass. And Ignition. Feels like that offense of theirs needs to be perfect if they want to get wins. Invicta. Trying to see if they can get rid of that offense as quickly as possible. A good pass here, Drazix. Good hook shot this one. Yes, he does. Drazix to do it. I call the play, guys. And this is very similar from last game. Ignition score with about a minute left. As they're down in this game. They only need one more this game. Last game they needed 3, I believe. 2 or 3 goals. Now this game, only 1 to tie things up. But again, they're going to have to make quick work. A minute is not a lot of time. But it's easily enough for 1 goal if they are cautious about it. Cody. Goobers clears it back. Krevlo almost beaten by Selton Pestas, but early challenge will, thankfully for Ignition fans, save them. Selton Pestas past Krevlo. Challenged by Cody. Ignition. Waiting back. Finley. Saved by Krevlo. Is now he's actually going to test Goobers on this one. Krevlo wants it. Couldn't get it. Still in front. Cody. Popped up. Drazix. Goes Krevlo. Still not in. And now Krevlo. Stella. 2-touch. Not in. Finley. Makes it a 2-goal lead. Invicta will come back in this game as Ignition sent everybody up on that offensive chance. When their shots were less than what you would expect from that kind of offense, it's Invicta to roar back the other direction. Finley. We're out. Back by Krevlo. Goobers to the sidewall. Ignition will have to now look to Game 6 to get their series win. Invicta coming back here with the Fury. The reverse sweep looking very possible now. And for Ignition, they are taking some time here. Looks like they're... I don't know what they're doing there. They just left the lobby. Maybe they're doing some card changes. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I guessed it. Makes sense, though. Now, again, Invicta, let me get this one. They take game 5. New Tokyo, the spot for game 6 in the series. Ignition Academy, it's starting to get pretty close here. Here we go. Game 6 in Ignition Academy. Again, they could win the series here. They took the first 3 games in the series. Now it's Invicta. We are starting to show that offense is starting to really pull them away here in the production. But Ignition still have every right to have the series be theirs. I mean, they were the ones that started off so well. Change the best of 7 can make. Ignition, if this was a best of 5, they would have won the series 3 games straight, but now... Well, now, a lot closer than what it maybe looks like it was going to be. Krevlo, a dribble, saved by Salas and Pestas. Cody now, to the side wall. Krevlo hesitant to jump up. Goes back the other way for Invicta. Krevlo, though, keeps it up. Drazics with low boost. They conserve it here. Set up this play, but Finley dunks him. Invicta keeping the ball close, trying to get these passing plays out of defense. They know that Ignition aren't going to be one that challenges so aggressively high up on the midfield. So they're trying to utilize that to get passing plays through, but Ignition are definitely proving that wrong. Look at these challenges, they're definitely pushing up higher. Although in that case from Krevlo, maybe a little too high. Ignition. Feels like this is a game where it's completely even right now. Ignition, again, it feels like maybe it feels like they're playing so defensively, and that's going to go in for Finley. No one's back for Ignition. The 50-50s don't keep working for them, as, again, it's Krevlo jumping in for a challenge he really shouldn't jump in for. As third man, you should never engage in a 50-50 in the midfield. As the raid coming in from your boy Kersey. Thank you, Kersey. The raid. We're in a close series here. As Ignition, they're 1 game away from winning this series, but on the verge of what could be a reverse sweep, but a good tie-up here from Drazics. Game 6 is becoming a bit hype here, guys. Both these teams scoring relatively early on. Drazics with this one, he hasn't scored all that often in this series. And here we go. We keep the action up, the only series tonight, and it's moving to be a close one. Goober's trying to get the clear. Krevlo up with it. Skeleton Pestas in the way. Cody shoots it far down. Goobers misses. Cody could have scored that one, but instead up goes Krevlo. He can't hit it. Drazics challenges late here. Invicta ready for it. Krevlo infield. Drazics will not engage in this one immediately. Instead, it's just laying there. Drazics, now he'll jump in, and Goobers meets him. Krevlo. I think that was an unintentional fake there from him, but almost created an offense for Ignition. Skeleton Pestas, oh my goodness! All the way for Skeleton Pestas from the corner through the entirety of the Ignition defense. It is now 2-1 as Skeleton Pestas taking over this series. The hearts of this Invicta team has come from Skeleton Pestas. Ignition need to find their bearings. This series is starting to get away from them. Off the back wall, Krevlo challenged with Finley. Ignition have been down before in this series many times, and they've found ways to come back. But as of late, it's been more and more difficult. Because they're doing better at holding those leads and actually adding more to it. But a miss from Finley. Drazic down the field. Drazic trying to put it on. Goobers saves. Krevlo, huge miss. That's an open net. Who's got the ball? It's Finley to score. 3-1. Krevlo was the hero at the start of the series. Now it's becoming Ignition's worst nightmare as an unintentional mistake from Krevlo. Ignition down by 2 goals in the worst way possible. Ignition swept this team earlier in the season, but now they might get reverse swept by this team in the playoffs. Stelos and Pestas off the sidewall. Drazic keeping it close off the back here himself. Goobers waiting for it. Invicta waiting on defense, just beckoning this Ignition team to push up numbers. As now, that one's blocked by Finley. Goobers. Krevlo, another very aggressive challenge from him, and it's again Krevlo here, who is not really making the smartest decisions. Again, you ask the question, what does Krevlo think he's going to gain from that challenge? And unfortunately, even if he gets that 50-50, it's not going to work for him. And this is what Invicta's doing. They are baiting out these Ignition players. They're forcing them to play up with higher and higher numbers, and that goes against what Ignition wants. Sure, most teams when they play aggressively are play better, not Ignition. They're a team that does so well when they play back defensively, and then when that aggression feels natural from them. Right now, feels like Invicta is forcing it to become this weird kind of aggression that they're not used to, and definitely one that is forcing Ignition to put in some more overcommits. Krevlo himself definitely becoming someone who's been caught in that play. Drazic can't get a second touch. Finley, another beat here, and again, I think that was Krevlo who wanted to go for that challenge. It's not the first time he's been beaten this game, and unfortunately, it's another goal right up because of it. He has been absolutely torn apart here as the last man back. Ignition silenced in this game. Ignition fans stunned. We're going to go to Game 7. And if Invicta can win that game too, we'll see history on this stream. This stream has never seen a best-of-7 reverse sweep. We've only had one series before this that has ever come to this point where a team has been one game away from it. We could see history here. And unfortunately for the Ignition organization I'm partnered with, I've had a lot of history with, they might be on the record books, but not for the right reasons. And they gotta really think about Game 7. Invicta going to tear apart this team mentally as well. Ignition had all confidence coming into this one, and now it's getting sucked out of them as Invicta are amassing multi-goal leads. But a goal back for Ignition here. With all the bad things I've said about Ignition, Game 7's a new game, it's a clean slate. We know that this team has the defense to keep up with Invicta. In Game 7, defenses are the ones that will win those kind of games. If your defense is strong, it will win that game for you. And Ignition, their defense has been quite strong this series. If they're able to show up with that defense that they've been proving that they have, Invicta are gonna have a tough time to get that reverse sweep. The flame of Ignition was burning hot after Game 3. Now it's starting to weaken. One game left. This going all the way to Champions Field. It's going all the way to a decisive Game 7. Invicta Esports could make history. And what a series, what a way to start the playoff action on this stream. Game 7. Invicta, we're down in the series. They're down 3 games in the series. Ignition Academy, now the ones that have to respond. They're the ones on the back foot. Going into Game 7. They're going to use this entire minute here to reset that mental. You know it cannot be in the right place here after losing that many games, after having such a high. But But here we go, Game 7. This is where it all ends. This is where the true hype of any series lies. Game 7, decisive Champions Field. Invicta Esports have controlled the series at the latter half. But if they want to make history, they still gotta win one game more. Ignition Academy could get rid of all their worries here. Their defense has kept them in these earlier games. Now they need to rely on it to keep them in here. Drazix with the flick. Finley to the corner. Drazix infield. Krevlo back post, but won't get a chance to shoot that one as it's cut away. Skeleton Pestas. Coming forward is Krevlo, though. Krevlo. Oh, one of the second touch. Goobers, though, will watch as Krevlo doesn't have enough boost. In front. Cleared away by Finley. Back goes Drazix. Being chased down here by Stella. Drazix with the pinch. Goobers. Around in front of the net. Krevlo with the dunk. Now Krevlo trying to jump for this one. Cleared back by Finley. Off the back wall. Drazix reads it. Cody's got to get this touch. Misses it. Drazix now jumping in. Cody's got a touch here. The shot on. It's in for Stella Tempestas. Ignition Academy. We're already awkward on defense, but it only made things worse as Cody took that one away from Drazix. Miscommunication. Ignition Academy trying to make the upset, but that's not going to be something that will help them here in doing so. They can come back. They have to work their hearts out for it, though. Krevlo. It's a flick. Finley. Gonna make it 2. High. Drazix. He gets a clear. Gets a dunk as well on Stella, but that's going towards the net. Cody saves it away. Finley. Invicta with all the offense right now. All the aggression. But we know Ignition Academy's defense can hold that. Can they push up? Can they get offense? Can they tie things up? That's the real question for Ignition. You can't just win. You can't win with just defense alone. That offense of theirs has to be able to prove itself here multiple times this game. As Krevlo gets around, open for Krevlo. In front flick. Finley can't read it. Drazix saved by Stella Tempestas. Ignition Academy denied on the goal line. And now Krevlo's just own goal. What in the world is Krevlo doing? There is no pressure on Krevlo here. And that own goal is going to make things so difficult. Ignition. If there's any worse way to go down by 2 goals, you have to name it to me. I didn't think of any worse way. Now Game 7 goes on. Invicta, now only playing with 2 players. Let's see, is Goober's back? He's got some ping issues. But Invicta are still scoring. They're 2v-freeing the Ignition now. That's just how much their confidence is helping them here. And I'm not even going to ask, again, sometimes we see teams where they have ping issues, they reset games, but I know Invicta's not going to want that to happen. They're the ones winning this game. Everything in their favor. Ignition getting absolutely shut down defensively. They need something, anything, something to get their confidence up. Krevlo, after Game 3, has been absolutely silent. He was the player that was the spark for this team. Now, his impact minimalized by the Invicta defense. Drazix on. Is it in? Yes, it is. A minute 48 left. I need 2 goals here. And that's a good shot from Drazix. Ignition. They need a comeback. What a up and down series it's been for them. There's still time for them in Game 7, but Invicta, look for the reverse sweep. In front from Cody. No one's there. Everybody ran away from Ignition. Ran away from the offense. Ran away from the play. Ran away from a chance to get a second goal. They're still looking for it. Cody. Not on target, but the follow-up from Drazix is just too slow. Again, Ignition all the way back. They're putting up everybody on offense. In front, Finley. Runs out of boost. It's Cody now. There's some open space. Cody just kind of gives away here. Goobers doesn't read this one. Again, he's still having those ping issues. Dunk play. Still Tempestas. Gets around Drazix. Cody. Waiting back. Cody now. Shoots it away. Finley. Dunks by Cody. Drazix. Still Tempestas. Dunks by Drazix. Invicta. Have not a lot of time left here, but that's going to be open here. Oh my goodness, Cody. Drevlo can't put it in. Cody. That's when he has to score. Ignition Academy at the wide open net. Still they're struggling. Drazix. Stella Tempesta stops this. Krevlo trying to get through the second touch. Can't read it. Stella. 50s with Cody. An awkward bounce up for it. Is Cody and Stella. Drazix with the dribble. Dunked by Finley. Invicta. 10 seconds away. Cody. Maybe one chance here for Ignition to come back. But Stella Tempestas denies it. Up from Drazix. They need to score here, but they won't do it. Reverse sweep in the Skyward series. We have history on this stream. A first for the sportiest stream. Invicta Esports. 4 games straight. The reverse sweep is theirs. And even with the ping issues, they fight on. Even with going down 3 games in series, they fight on. Even with everything looking it's going against them, they fight on. Invicta Esports will continue on. They'll progress to play Striker Exile. There will be no Draco versus Ignition Academy matchup. Instead, Invicta Esports will meet them there. What a series. What a way to make history. And unfortunately, for the Ignition organization, an organization I have the pleasure of being partnered with, they're going to be on the wrong side of history here, as they'll be the first ever team to be reverse swept on stream. What a way. I've been casting for well over a year and a half by now. I have never seen that happen. I've actually seen more perfect sweeps in best of 5s than reverse sweeps in best of 7s. Yeah, no problem, man. No, thank you. No, thank you. No problem. Thank you, no problem. And that's a tough way. Yeah, it is a tough way to go to lower bracket, but again, Ignition Academy, if they're playing like this against Invicta, they have every right to continue their run in the lower bracket. But man, they couldn't be any more difficult of a way to do it. Again, it hurts me to say that Ignition Academy is going to be the first ever team reverse swept on my stream, but they are. I love those guys. I really do. They're great people, but man, that is a tough series for them. But Invicta here with me. Goobers, congratulations. What a way to get a win. And if you didn't hear it already, you've just made history on the stream. The first ever best of 7 reverse sweep that I've ever been able to see on this stream.
Well, that's incredible. I'm glad I got to be a part of that.
Well,
and
again,
thank you so much for showing us on your channel too. We really love what you do.
Thank you very much. Again, we got to talk about your series though. 3 games down. What was thinking? You guys must have been in a terrible mental state. What was it that kept you guys going? What was it? Because in game 3, everybody looked like they were down and out for Invicta. What was it? What was that change going into game 4?
So we basically looked at each other and we were like, not like this, you know? We decided we need to play faster. That they were outplaying us, and we needed to cut off all their passes. But we needed to step up on the walls. But we needed to boost manage better, and we just started doing that. I guess I don't know.
Well, again, again, it was close. It really was earlier in the season. You guys remember that you had a very tough time with this Ignition Academy team. You got swept by them in the regular season. And if this was the best of 5, you would have been swept again. What is it that makes them so difficult for you guys? And what was it that you guys had as the counter to their play?
Well, these guys are great players. I mean, especially Krevlo. He's up in the air before you'd think he'd be. And so he's definitely got that, like, really, really clutch first man. And then both Cody and Drazik, that they do really, really well to play around that and have that aggressive second man. So it's definitely really hard to defend against. We were just looking more at the passes because they're so good at passing. Maybe we can cut those off. And they're great, great guys. Love the guys at Ignition, and we even got to scrim them before our match, and they're just so classy. So like, shout out to them, really.
Well, again, it was close. It was tough. Tell me about this. The playoffs. You guys just missed out being top four. What does that make you guys kind of feel a bit dampened down? Do you feel like you sort of deserve that top four, or more importantly, does it invigorate you guys? Does it fire you guys up even more? Yes, pun intended. No pun intended there. With the fire thing, does it fire you guys up even more to just get into the top eight and prove that you deserve to be at the top of the class, or what is it? Kind of just barely missing out on that top four. How does it affect you? Because you guys missed out by one game. FX beat you guys by a single game differential.
Yes, and we had played Ignition before, and you know how that ended up, and we just knew this was going to be the test. It's playoff season. We've all grown out our beards, and we're just ready to like take charge now that we're here. And this was a heck of a test in the first round. And honestly, we were probably planning on just playing through the losers bracket of the wild cards, but I mean, regardless, it feels amazing, and we worked our butts off. We did a bunch of replay analysis. We really hit the books for this one, and after that game three, I mean, we were crushed, and that's what's so good about Ignition Academy. So I definitely see these guys winning out wherever they go, and so we're probably going to see them again, guaranteed.
Well, again, your next matchup, Striker Exile. Ironically, you're actually playing up against another Ignition Academy member in Draco. Again, the storyline before the series was, what would happen if Ignition Academy placed their own teammates? Unfortunately, we won't get to see that here, but again, you guys get to play Striker Exile. Is there anything you want to say to Striker Exile? I know Bezo is in the chat. I know Bezo's in the chat. He's the captain, if you didn't know. Is there anything you want to say to... and also, I know Draco's in the chat as well. Is there anything you want to say to the Striker Exile side?
We look forward to playing you, and playoff season. That's the season where to peak, and we hope you bring your game because we're going to be bringing ours.
Well, again, Invicta, confident as ever. You have any shoutouts, any statements you want to say? Again, it's been a while since I've actually seen you on this stream. Again, last time you guys played was when you won against Dream Station, back in the midnight match. That was fun. But again, is there any shoutouts, anything you want to say to anybody out there watching you guys?
Well, I know my mom's not watching, but I wanted to thank her first and foremost, and love my mom. And I also love my wife. She's been here the whole time cheering me on, and no better cheerleader than that. And I also want to shout out Cody. He's been the nicest guy I've ever DM'd with about finding a match for Skyward series. So that I really wish the best for him. And they've got a fantastic team. So Invicta loves you with open arms.
Well, again, congratulations. You beat Team Ignition Academy here on a stream by a streamer who's partnered with Team Ignition. That's interesting. So congratulations, you get to put Ignition on the record books as the first ever team reverse swept. You guys get the first ever reverse sweep on the stream. Again, I've been doing casting for over 1.5 years by now. Never seen it happen. We only had one other time before this where it was even potentially possible. Again, congratulations, you win. You totally deserve that one. You guys played your hearts out. Again, what a series. What a way to get the playoffs started here on this stream. Congratulations, Goobers and Team and Invicta Esports here. And again, good luck against Striker Exile.
Hey, thank you, Sporty. And thanks again for casting us. You do such great work. So thanks so much.
Of course, my pleasure. Have a great night.
You too.
Win for Invicta Esports. Again, history on this stream. There's a lot of things that don't happen often on the stream. We've only had 2 perfect sweeps on the stream in history. This has been the first reverse sweep in a best of 7. Never happened before. I've had my multitude of reverse sweeps in best of 5s. Best of 7s, that's rare. That doesn't happen often. And guess what? All of you get to witness history here. But again, what a way to get this playoff started. Don't worry, there's going to be more playoff action in the future on this stream. But that's it from me, everybody. Have a great night. Reminder, organization announcement is tomorrow. You guys probably know who it is. I'm not going to say who it is. But again, an organization announcement tomorrow. Expect greatness, 5 p.m. Eastern. gonna be great. I'm feeling amazing for it. There's gonna be some show matches along with it as well. Again, thank you all so much for joining. Have a great night. It has been so nice to see you all here. And again, take care. Everybody, take care. Have fun. Be safe. And I'll see you again on the Sportiest stream. Have a great night.